bruh, bruh, bruh.
It's rubbish attempt at creating a factual acronym Tuesday.
Okay, so I have to review this. I have to review this because it is hard to describe. Normally, I try and structure out a little bit of a script for me to tell you what it is that I have experienced with a given game. I don't know that that's possible with this one. I don't know if I can describe to you what it is that I have experienced. So, this is Dr. Livesey Ramen Death Edition. Ram, of course, means rum, and death, of course, means a thing that you're going to do in this game. And not really understand how or why or what is really happening is crazy. It's a crazy thing that is going to happen to you when you play this game. You are not prepared. You can't be prepared, and you won't be prepared. Now, I am going to recommend that you buy this game. Comes just in 2023. It's not very old. From Agafonov. It's a Russian developer. Very Russian. Super Russian. Yeah. And it is based on... there's this meme that's been going around. You've definitely seen it. Of three people walking sideways, one of whom is a small, judgy-looking dude. The other is like this big, strong, freaking guy who swings his shoulders in a very strange manner that is unforgettable. I will try and put it on screen. You'll see it. You'll know it. As a matter of fact, when the footage that you're going to be looking at from this game, you will automatically recognize from the meme that you have definitely seen. This comes from the Russian cartoon version of Treasure Island that was released, way back when. Same time that we were getting our, Schoolhouse Rock and whatnot, Russian kids got this version of Treasure Island. And interestingly enough, I recently reread Treasure Island because I'm rereading all of the books that, there was a reading list that was given to me by my junior English teacher, and now I'm a junior English teacher. But the list is like, books to read before you die. And I am trying to read them, in advance of whenever the icy hand of death grips me and yanks me from this mortal coil. Don't know when that's going to happen. Nobody does. But given the fact that I have lost some people tragically young, I'm like, well, better get on some bucket list items. And so I reread the book recently. And Dr. Livesey in the book, because you have young Jim Hawkins, you have Dr. Livesey, and then I forget who the third character is because my memory is not great, even though I literally just reread this book mere months ago. But Dr. Livesey, he is an incredible character in the book, a very level-headed man who makes sure that young Jim Hawkins is taken care of in ways that go well above and beyond what he is supposed to do. How that turns into this on-rails shooter that is like a roguelike, they call it. The tags in here: action, cartoon, spectacle fighter, whatever that is, and roguelike. And I could say that the roguelike part, at least in terms of the fact that there are different rooms that you are going to wander through, and, they call them rooms. They are sections of jungle because you're on the island. And you're going to wander around, and pirates will randomly pop up, and then you will start shooting the pirates. And the whole time, there's this pumping soundtrack, this incredible soundtrack. And it seems like the kind of thing that is going to be copyright matched, and so I'm going to have to go searching for some bumping electronic music to play in the background. But I will tell you this, your characters move in time to the music in the game, and it's really cool but a little bit unsettling. And so you're this on-rails group, so you have your three dudes, The judge guy throws bombs. Dr. Livesey shoots. And Jim can pitch in from time to time as well. And you're going to go around, you're going to collect things that are not going to be immediately apparent to you what they do and how to use them. You get chucked into this situation and you're not going to know what's happening because it's impossible to know what's happening. Even after you've played it a few times, you're just going to be like, what? Why? There are so many things wrong with this game, so many things that are just nonsensical when it comes to how a game is supposed to be put together. The hit detection is weird. You have no idea how the hit detection works. It's a shooter, but there's no gun noises or bomb noises. It's all techno soundtrack and weird Russian voices going off in the background. It's weird. It's a weird game, but it is undeniably eye-catching and interesting because you will have never played anything like this. You can't have played anything like this unless you have played this game specifically. It's so freaking weird. And your brain will not be able to process fully what is happening. You're going to have to play it multiple times. And even in me showing you what's going on and telling you what's going on, you won't know what's going on until you're playing it, and even then, it's a bit of a stretch. But this game is overwhelmingly positively reviewed on Steam. For real. Like, people love this game, and I don't think that it's entirely... Because you know how sometimes people jump onto something that sucks and is lame, and they're like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I don't think this is that. I don't think people are reclaiming the coolness of something that is undeniably non-cool in a sort of, postmodern, hipster, ironic way. I don't think that's what's happening here. I think people legitimately love this game. And God help me, I think I'm one of them who loves this game. It makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. Nothing that I can tell you about it is going to make it make more sense. You just kind of have to play it. And that's the thing about it, is that you just kind of have to play it. It is a cheap game. It is 99 cents at full price. So this is a budget game. I should have reviewed this in Budget Stravaganza, but I didn't because it's overwhelmingly positively reviewed. And when I do Budget Stravaganza, I'm looking for games with no reviews. But this game, you're going to wander from room to room. You're going to, best advice I can give you is wander around a lot, look for things, and see what you can get. And there are going to be power-ups, which will result in the screen changing color. And at first you'll be like, oh, am I dying? Is this good? Is this bad? What is happening to me? The game does a horrible job of explaining itself. And it breaks so many rules of what I will tell you make for good gameplay. And yet, with all of that, its charm is magnificent. And sure, it is riding off of the back of a meme that everybody was already intrigued by. And it's riding off of the back of a known property that already has some goodwill behind it. Sure, yeah, whatever. Say what you will about that. The way the graphics are put together, you have these like cross-shaped boxes and trees with faces on them and stuff, and you're like, what the hell? What is this? What is it? And why is it? And then at some point you just realize, I'm having fun with this. This is really interesting. I have never experienced something like this. And that is such a unique thing. I have played so many games. So many freaking games. This is my 300-something Steam game review. And I've done like 100-some-odd other random game reviews here and there. So I've reviewed like 400 games. And there are a bunch of games that I've played in my life that I have not reviewed. And so I have a lifetime of video gaming behind me. And yet I've never seen anything like this. It's a weird, weird little duck, but it worms its way into your heart. it refuses to let you not enjoy it unless you Obey the Fist. Because my dude Obey the Fist hates this game. He's like, it's a really nasty bit of copyright infringement. And yeah, I mean, it is that. And the developer has been known to do asset flips, and the original artist who created the cartoon upon which this is based has not been compensated for the use of his work. Feel about all of that however you like. That is nothing if not problematic. I understand where Obey the Fist is coming from. And yet, why do I like this game? There's no calling for it. None whatsoever. But I want to play it again. I want to go see if I can beat, what's his name? Black Bart, the pirate? Or Black Bob, and see if I can take him out. I only beat him once, but I have died to him multiple times. It's a weird little monkey. It is a weird little monkey. I think they should compensate the original artists. I think Steam should force them to do that, honestly. YouTube finds a way of forcing you to compensate people if you use their work without permission. Steam, get on that. Like, I think the original artist deserves to be compensated. But that said, like, my God, this is something unique and something that you will not find. All of the textures and everything are flat and weird and cartoony and odd. And the whole thing's just the oddest little monkey you ever saw. But I can't not recommend it to you. With all of that, with my feelings on copyright infringement and not paying the original artists and everything else going on with this game. The fact that the original artist is Ukrainian and more than likely the developer of this game is Russian, we could dive into some problematic areas. If you look at this and you're like, I can't, cool. If you look at this and you're like, oh God, I have to now, I understand. Anyway, let me put a final score on it. Okay, final score. We are giving Dr. Livesey Ramen Death Edition an 8 out of a possible 10. David Cherkassky. David Cherkassky was the original artist who made the Treasure Island cartoon that the meme is based on, that this game is based on. He is the man. Like, he unfortunately died. He did not live long enough to see the way that his work, I mean, he died in 2018. And so he may have seen the meme, but I don't know that he did. And he didn't see the way in which his work like reached new audiences. You should look into his stuff. It's really cool. He has a very unique style and his cartoons are well worth watching. Look him up and try and do it in a legal way so that his wife, his children, the people he left behind get some sort of compensation. Because, he's not getting anything from this game, I'll tell you that much. And feel about that however you want. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 because of the experience. But if you feel differently, Obey the Fist, I hear you, I see you. I understand where you're coming from. Anyway, what a weird game, right? It's really cool. But, yeah, it's got some baggage. Anyway, people, that's going to do it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.